pretty simple, honestly, and I got to pack all this. All right, back down here at the shop. This is Friday evening. I think it's coming up on 8 p.m. I had to wait until about 6 p.m. today to get one piece of the puzzle that I needed to repair the wheel bearings, which was the grease. I could not find the grease anywhere. It's like it's the Dexter Vault hybrid grease, which apparently when it warms up, it turns into an oil. And I couldn't find any other options that are in town. So I had to order it, and it was actually expensive. Basically a tube of it. This is the size, this is inside of a package here. But all right, so I open it up here. So yeah, Dexter Vault says premium marine hybrid oil, pressurized hybrid lubricant. This is the only kind of this that I could find. All kinds of different marine grease out there, but the only one that I could find that's a hybrid oil. So if somebody knows a more common one, I would love to know it, so that way in the future I can get it locally or get it cheaper or quicker or whatever. But anyways, this took a week to get here. I had the new bearings. Actually, I had the new bearings right here, which I'm hoping are the right ones. And the gasket maker, basically the sealant that I'm going to use for the seals. I had those, I think, on Tuesday. I ordered them Saturday, so wish that grease would have got here. Otherwise, I might have had it done already. I was planning on coming down here and working down here, and then like during my lunch break, work on the boat, and then after work, you know, so maybe I would have had it done by now. Not the boat, the trailer. But I do want to show you before I get started. And again, I'm not going to get real detailed. You'll probably just see some sort of time lapses, and like I'll stop and talk about stuff and maybe some problems I run into, or maybe I'll just show you how well it went. But I'm not, this is not going to be a how-to video, because I'm actually going to be referencing videos, or I'm going to be watching videos that I think are better how-to videos. Seems like they know what they're doing. So I might link those in the description below. But even if I don't, they'd be pretty easy to find. Just look up how to replace Dexter Vault bearings or UFP wheel bearings. And they're pretty good videos, so that's what I'm going to reference. But anyways, I want to show you what I saw that told me for sure that it is the seal that broke on the back of the wheel. You know, like I said, I suspected it, and I showed it in the last video. I could see a grease line in the middle of the wheel, and it was smoking. That's what first indicated it to me. But then when I looked at the back of the wheel, that's when it was verified. So I'm going to try to turn this light on here. And then, right, so right in there, you see the back of that, and the grease is coming out of it. You can kind of see it bulging, and I can even see part of the seal kind of breaking out there. So that's how I confirmed it. Also, while we're down here, this right here, if anybody watched my video last week, this right here was the puddle, because here's the drain in the middle of the boat, and you can actually see some green on this. So this is where the puddle was of the coolant leak that I had. It's totally dry. That's good. That means it's not leaking anymore. I'm sure maybe when I go take the boat out, it's still possible it may leak a little bit, but I think I know what it is, and I think I fixed it. I tightened, like I said, tightened a hose clamp on a fitting. I think I might have got it. So, all right, I'm gonna get to start working on this thing. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is get this wheel off of here. So I'm gonna get my jack out and get a jack stand and get the wheel off, and then the next thing is going to be to take the caliper off, completely off that, and then I can start taking it apart. And I can pretty much do it all from right here. I might even have a chair here while I'm doing a lot of this. So I'll get this set up. a lot more beating to get that off than I thought it was going to. Oops, took a lot more beating to get this cap off than I thought it was going to. And then it popped off and slung some grease everywhere. But then I wiped this out, and you can see I got to bend this cotter pin straight, take it out, and then there's this nut I got to roll back. And then I think after that I can pull this whole hub off. And then I think what I'm going to do is get a table out and work on the table, because then I got to pull everything out of there and put it all back in. So, all right, well, the battery or the camera turned off because it got too hot, which doesn't make sense. It's not even that hot in here. I mean, I'm a little hot, but it's like 80 in here. I got the light off right now, but at the end there, you watched me take the cotter pin out right there, and then there's just like a little piece to hold the nut where it is with the cotter pin, and there's the nut. Right after that, I was able to just pull the hub right off, and now I have it on this table right here. So, and I've got my new bearing kit right there, got my grease. Probably gonna need a few tools, but I'm just gonna start taking this apart now. I can see there's a little washer I got to pop off right there, and then I should be able to start pulling stuff out of there. So start on that. You probably saw me take this guy down to there, and that's because I needed to kind of pound on it. That seal you kind of have to beat up to get off, so you like hammer a screwdriver down in beside it, and you see I bent it. But in all the videos I watched, they said that's normal. There's not really a good way to get it out of there, so you just got to beat it up to get out of there. There's the biggest bearing on the back. Here's the small bearing. Pretty straightforward. I mean, you got the bearing that goes on this side. And then the seal behind that, and that's the seal. This is the seal that failed. And then, so I knew no matter what, I'd have to replace that. I would say the bearings actually seem pretty good. Maybe what I'll do is if as long as I got the right stuff, which I'm about to find out here, maybe I'll just clean those up and keep them as backups. You know, those two there. And then there's a washer. So pretty simple, honestly. And I got to pack all this with grease. You can see I've kind of been making a greasy mess everywhere. I kind of expected that though. So anyways, I'm going to start kind of repacking this. So I think you can see it's quite the mess. So I got to try to clean up at least this edge here as much as I can. In fact, I probably should have got some cleaner, but I think I have a few things I can use. Got to clean at least this edge up because that's where the sealant goes. You can see there's grease all in here. I'm not worried about that because going in and out of the water will probably clean that off eventually. And then I cleaned a lot of the grease out of there. None of it's really grimy, so I'm not too worried about it. If there's just a little old grease left over. And then once I get all this done on this side, I'll flip it over. But part of that is going to be sealing and putting the seal back in. So I'll try to get prepared for that here. I basically put the bearing in with grease, and then probably pop some grease on top of it, or yeah, I don't know. I guess I can put the seal in and add grease to it later. And then I got a seal. There's the sealant I got to put around the seal, and I got to punch that in until it's flush, is what they say. Then that's supposed to have like an hour before I take it in, take it out and use it. But should be able to flip that over pretty quickly and start working on the other side. So not have to wait an hour to do that. So here we go. Okay, I don't know what's going on, but the camera keeps on overheating. But good news, I don't know if you noticed me, I was sizing these up. So here's the old bearing, here's the new bearing. Did the same thing, there's the old bearing. Put the new bearing in. That fit great. It looks like the right size. I sized that up as well to the old seal there. I just got done putting the Permatex sealant on there. You can see it all the way around, and then the camera turned off. So now I'm gonna smear that a little bit and then set it here, and then I'm gonna have to hammer that in. That's why I got this block of wood. I have this to do the cap with, but it's not wide enough for this, so I think the block of wood will be fine. Well, so long as it'll fit in here. If not, I'll find something. But that just needs to be flush around the edges, so that's what I'm doing now. So, camera got hot again, but anyways, I just got done. I put that bad boy on there, I put the hub on there, and I could tell it wasn't fitting right on the back. That kit that I have came with 2 rear seals, and I didn't really realize they were different sizes, but obviously put the wrong one on. It was too big in the back. Went up and measured the other one, and of course it was about a 1/4 inch, or maybe 1/8 of an inch, maybe a little bit more than that, smaller in diameter, and now it fits on there. So I've got it on there. Some kits come with a zerk you can put on the end of here, and then you pump the grease into it. This kit did not, that I see anyways. I'll look through it again, but basically I need to try to pack this with as much grease as I can. Put this bearing on this side. I've got it sitting right down here. Then put the washer on, and then the nut, and then that kind of cap that goes over the nut, and then the cotter pin. And then I got to put that cap, the pressurized cap, back on, fill it full of grease, and I got to put a seal around it like I did the back seal. So anyways, I'll work on that now. Good news is it's fitting. I just, my concern now is, am I going to be able to get enough grease in there? But I should be able to tell whether or not I got enough grease in there, because this cap should extend out. Like you can see, it's not extended out right now. This cap should extend out a little bit by like a 1/4 inch, if there's enough. And I almost wonder if I need to do something, because usually, oh, I know what it is. You got to push it from the back. I want to make sure that that's moving nicely. So I'm going to go do that right now. All right, you didn't get to see that quick bit there because the camera was too hot. So, but I just want to show you. Got that tightened in there. Basically, you put the bearing back in, and you can't shove it all the way in. So you got to put that washer on, and then put the nut on, and then I used a crescent wrench to tighten it down. And then once you get it all the way tight, you want to loosen it just a bit, because you'll be able to tell the rotor won't be able to go as good as you want it to be able to if it's fully tight. But then then I put the cotter pin in, bent it all up so it can't come out. Pretty much just like I pulled it out. Now I just need to, it's over there, but actually I don't know where. I have to go find my cap. So I just need to fill the cap with grease, and then put a ring of sealant on the outside, and then basically tap it in. So I'm going to get ready for that, and then should be done with the side. It just all depends on if it extends the top of it, like I was just showing you. So here we go. All right, well, I got done, as you probably saw, but a little disappointed because the cap is not extended like that one right there. I did some reading, and it seems as though maybe before I pull that thing back off of there, and I think the next thing to do if it's not working is I need to take apart the cap, because the cap has a spring and it has a couple O-rings, and it's possible that there's something wrong with those O-rings and it's not sealing on the cap. If that's the case, I may need a new cap, may need new O-rings. But before I do that, one of the things that I read is you may need to, when I watch the replacement videos, they put it back on and it extends right when they put it back on. So I feel like I might have a problem, which sucks, but it said pull it for 10 to 15 miles and then you can then when it heats up, it may pressurize, and then you'd see the cap extend. So I think what I'm going to do, because I don't want to redo this. It's already like 11:15 p.m. and I don't want to pull the cap off there and try to redo it, try to go through the whole cap again tonight. And that sealant is gonna, cure overnight. So I think what I want to do is just test that out. So I think it's going to be a trip to the lake, or I might just tow this thing around tomorrow, just to see if it does that, just 10 to 15 miles. In fact, that might be the way to go, because then I can probably turn around and order a new cap in that case. So yeah, I think I'm going to do that. It kind of sucks because I was really hoping, I just went through all that and it took me a while. I think I started around 8 o'clock and 3 hours. Honestly, that's about what I thought this was going to take, so it's not too bad. And I'm still not done. I got to put the caliper back on, put the wheel back on, and then I still want to do the other side. I'm not going to do that tonight. So maybe that would give me an idea of how it's going to go. But so this one right here is all the way sunk in as well, and it makes me a little nervous. I see it dirty right around here, like as if maybe it's losing grease and dust is collecting on that. So maybe this cap is leaking possibly. But I am gonna pop this cap off tomorrow, and what's nice about this one is I don't have to take the whole wheel off. I think I could just take I could probably do it with this on, but I'm gonna take this off, this centerpiece, and then I think I can just knock this thing off with the wheel on, and then I just gonna repack it with grease as best I can, and then pop it back on, and then hopefully that one's good too. This one I wasn't having any problems. I just noticed it was completely sunk in, so I'm gonna try that out, and maybe when I put that one back on, maybe it'll maybe that one will extend. I don't know, or maybe it'll, I'll do the 10 to 15 mile tow and we'll see what happens after that. Yeah, I guess worst case scenario, I will be ordering some new caps and I will be working on this again next week. So yeah, I'm going to throw the wheel back on, or throw the caliper back on, throw the wheel back on, and that way I can let it down. It's not just sitting on a jack all night. I got quite the mess going on here. I might clean some of it up before I go to bed. Not sure. I don't have to, but it would be helpful just to not have to deal with such a mess in the morning. What sucks is I got grease all over the floor, so I'll have to just kind of go around and clean stuff up. The good news is I got tons of paper towels, so I should be fine. Yeah, anyways, I'm gonna put this back together. I am, just FYI for later in the video, for those of you who have made it this far, I am gonna go check out the lake. I might just buzz out there at some point. I just noticed a dirty spot on the boat, must have missed. But I might just buzz out there some point tomorrow. Ideally, I would be able to go on the water tomorrow, but I think it's kind of fat chances because it's supposed to rain all weekend and be in the 60s. So I would like to take it out on the water, but I don't know if it's gonna be worth it. So I think worst case scenario, I'd want to just buzz out and see what the water level is, because it did come up 2 feet from last Saturday. It's Friday, so almost a week, so in a week's time, it's come up a little over 2 feet. But I want to see if they put the ramps in, or the docks in, because that's kind of crucial. You know, I don't want my wife to have to wade out into the mud and water. Okay, well, I'm going to get this done, and then, so I'll probably see you guys tomorrow in about 2 seconds. All right, good morning. It's actually almost 9 a.m. I only kind of slept. I didn't really sleep very good, but kind of slept until about 7, and then I've just kind of been taking my time to eat breakfast and kind of get ready, because I put a hurting on myself last night. That was 3 hours of just sweating and hard work. So, and a little disappointing because I thought that cap would extend, but I did even more reading about it, and I guess it's pretty common for it to not extend until you get it heated up. So I'm just going to be real hopeful. But now I'm going to start working on this guy. So I just need to knock that cap off, repack, and then put it back on. What's crazy is the one video I watched, they didn't put any sealant on that cap before they put it back on. So I'm wondering if it even needed it. It would make sense that it doesn't, because I don't see any of the sort of the sealant residue on that red stuff on any of these. Yeah, another thing is like, you might notice like stuff on my hat. So this is my golf hat, and probably the hat that I use to do the most things. I'm not too worried about it getting ruined. It seems like it's like filtering the salt out of my sweat, which is, might be kind of gross, but just weird, because like all of a sudden I get it this morning or hang it up last night, and there's just all this white, and it's normal to see white, but like I grabbed it this morning, I brushed off the salt. So super weird. But anyways, yeah, I'm gonna basically I'm gonna work on this guy, and then I'm gonna hook up to this thing. It was rained last night. It's supposed to rain a lot today. It's not raining right now though. And then I'm just gonna pull this thing around for a little bit, and hopefully it extends. Again, worst case scenario, I have to order new caps. Basically, it's like a maintenance kit. It comes with caps, grease, O-rings. It comes with a little grease zerk, which I think is maybe a component I'm missing. But one of the videos I watched last night made it look like I put plenty of grease in. Maybe even a little more than I needed. But yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I checked the back of the wheel a few times, and there's no grease coming out the back, so it seems to be nice and sealed on the back. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm gonna work on this. So here we go. Okay, well, that one actually, it may not have looked like it, but that was actually easier to get off, and I think it's because I decided to get a little bit, I don't know, do a little bit of ingenuity here, jacked it up and got some leverage so I could get the bottom. When I was doing the other wheel, I could spin it, you know, so this one's on the ground, so I can't spin it. So to do the bottom, I was using leverage, and that actually started getting it off quicker. This one actually looks like it's got lots of grease. I mean, I'll fill the cap up, and that'll force some more grease in there, but I mean, otherwise it looks like it's got plenty. I just wonder if this cap, like I said before, is leaking because it's, you know, kind of dirty around there, which I'll try to clean some of that right now. That way, when I do get it back on there, I'll be able to tell. It looks like it really could be leaking out of here. Another thing I'm going to do really quick is I'm going to push this in and out like I did the other one and make sure that's functioning good, because it can get kind of grime in there and make it to where the seals aren't working good. So I'll check that out right now. Well, we got some good news, I think. So this one, you just watched me put that on there, and it obviously had a lot of grease, because as I was pounding it on, it was squirting grease out the edges, which I don't know if it's good, if that's good or not. I think, you know, like I said, the one guy put the cap in without putting any of that sealant on. I had that sealant on. I'm not sure, you know, maybe whether or not that's going to work good. I really don't know if it's going to make it to where it allows air or water in. But one thing I will say though, which I think is a little bit better sign, is that cap is barely sticking out. So I'm not sure how well you can tell. You can see that one. Let's come back over here. And if you look at this one, and that one is fully flush. So I think better sign in that at least it's sticking out a little, which means I think it is getting pressurized a little bit. So I think that one has a better chance of popping out or extending once I get up, get up to speed, get up to temperature on that wheel. So yeah, I think I'm gonna, leave that center piece off. Same with the other side, just in case I have to get the wheel off or something like that, or clean it up more. I do need to clean this wheel up a little bit because there's a little smudge of the sealant there. And then I'm gonna let that sit for a little while, and then, in the meantime, I'm gonna clean up around here, and then I'll take it out later. I did hear it just rain a little bit a second ago. I've had this mallet for a long time. This is not the correct mallet to use. You can see I chunked off a piece there. But it's done its job for a long time. The one that I've seen them use in videos is actually like a plastic mallet. But this did the job. You saw that I used leverage with the piece of wood over there too. I'm really hopeful. I think that one's going to be okay. I'm just not sure about the one that I repacked or put new bearings in. So another thing is, I noticed in the video that they used a torque wrench to tighten that bolt to seat the back bearing on, or both the bearings on, I guess. I just used the crescent wrench to tighten that down, and I didn't go crazy with it, so I'm wondering if I even got it tight enough to seat it on the other side. So that makes me a little nervous. Hopefully I don't have to take that whole thing apart again. That's a lot of work. But I will be, when I take this down the road, I will be watching very closely. So, all right, I'm gonna clean up here. All right, I'm hooked up. I let it sit for, it's probably almost 2 hours, hour and a half at least, because I was up doing some stuff on the deck. And I can show you that later, but I've got the camera set up here. It's gonna be watching the wheel. I really hope you don't get to see much action, like smoke or completely fall apart or something like that. That'd be pretty crazy. But I'm just gonna take it for a little test drive when we go kind of up to Cali. Just kind of taking that way, so that way I can kind of stop frequently and look at it. Just want to get them heated up and see if it comes out. I think if it stays flat, then I'll come back, and today I will pop the cap off, just like I did on the other side, just to add grease. And then, so I'll add some more grease, and then I'll put it back on, and then I guess try again. If it still doesn't work, I'm hoping the other side pops out a little more too, but if it still doesn't work, I think I might need a new cap for this one. So I hope that's not the case. I also, if I have to get in there, I'm gonna probably tighten up the nut a little more to get that bearing seated on more. I think I've got it seated on decent, but I mean, like I said, the guy used a torque wrench, so chances are maybe he got a little more on than I did, but we'll see here. All right. All right, well, I didn't have any problems. Got them up to operating temp. I mean, I didn't go as far as I said. I said to go to 10 to 15 miles. I think I've only gone about 5 maybe. This one's still flat, hasn't moved. Can't push it in or anything. And on the other side, remember it was extended a little bit. It is now flat. So, unfortunately, this might mean that I have to, well, I might have to repack them today, and then I might even need new caps. That one that I just showed you was a little gritty when I tried moving it. I cleaned it up as good as I could. I know you can take it all apart and clean it really good. And that can restrict the movement, but I mean, you saw it was a little extended when I first put that in there. Yeah, I mean, part of getting it up to operating temp is dispersing the grease kind of throughout, getting rid of the air bubbles. Air bubbles go up to the top, so it could be that they just need to be, after running it, they need to be repacked. But yeah, this just I wish it was just extended right away and working, but I'm gonna drive some more and see how it goes. If the temperature gets up into the 90s on one of these wheels, then I will probably say, okay, that's it, gonna go back to the shop. Otherwise, I'm gonna probably drive around for another at least 5 miles, so to just kind of have it at operating temp for a while. All right, so not ideal. Looks like the main one that I had to replace the seal on, at least, and did all the bearings on, is heating up more than the rest. So I think I've gone maybe 12 miles now, and I'm headed back now. Good news is the back right one seems to be holding. I think, oh, it just dropped a little. That's interesting. So maybe they're stabilized. My guess is it's fine, but fine for driving right now and in general, like when it's dry. But unless those caps pop out or are popped out by the time I get home, that means it's not gonna keep water out. It's not going to be, you know, watertight, and that's the point, is to pressurize and keep water out. So I think if the caps aren't out at all when I get back to the shop, then I will probably need to, at minimum, take the caps off and repack them. So that's probably what I'll do today, if that's the case. And then if they still don't extend, then I think that means I probably need new caps, which sucks. And then also, I think what would probably help is if I had that little Zerk that screws into the end. That way I can actually make sure it's getting packed full of grease all the way through, because all I'm doing is I'm trying to shove some from the end in, and then filling the cap full. And you know, like I said, if the caps are not extended when I get back to the shop, then obviously that's not working. So anyways, I'll get back to the shop, see how it looks. Well, I was really hoping that that drive would make those caps extend and I would be done. And I mean, I'll tell you what, didn't have any problems with it driving. It never did get over 88 degrees, and the other tires or the other wheels got up to 86 degrees. So seems kind of normal. I mean, I didn't take it on an hour-long drive in the heat, but well, I was just hoping that would be it, you know. So I will be popping those off there and trying to pack them with more grease here, and a little later I'm gonna go grab lunch. Just so unfortunate, so crappy. Well, at least I'll be able to ease my mind about the wheel bearing being set on there good enough, because I'll tighten that back up. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I guess what I'll do, like I said, I'm gonna go to the lake a little later and just check the water level, check to see if they have the docks in. But I'll probably just report back later today on where I'm at, because I'm not going to film any more of it. You guys have already seen the whole process. Basically just going to repeat what I did last with it, where I just knocked the cap off and then pack it with more grease. I might even go check in town at the hardware store, see if they have one of those grease Zerk fittings, because that would be super helpful. I do have a grease gun here that would hook onto that. So if they do, then that could help out a lot. So it might. What I probably should do, I just don't know how much time this is going to take. Maybe I'll do it on one of them to see how much time it takes. Is I probably should take the whole cap apart and clean it up, and then basically, you know, that cap extension with the spring should function a little bit better. That, and you know, that might. I don't know. In my opinion, right now, what's happening is it's not fully sealed. So, for example, on the other side, it was extended a little bit when I popped it in there, but when I went for a drive, it went back in. So that means that it must have let air out somewhere. I'm going to check the back of the wheels on both of them, but I'm not expecting to see any leaking. So, yeah, interesting. All right, we'll check back in later. All right, well. Several hours later now, I think it's probably 3 or 4 hours later, I spent the last couple hours taking the caps back off, and I decided to fully take them apart and clean them. So I did that. Probably the best video I've watched, that's what they did at the end, and I thought about doing it. Finally, I just did it. I think, the good news is that I think it worked on this guy. We got positive. It's not sticking out real far, but it's sticking out, and I can push it. So it's getting some pressure. Maybe it'll stick out a little bit more when we go down the road. Hopefully it doesn't do what it did last time and loses that negative pressure or positive pressure when it goes down the road. I went ahead and put this on because I think this one's going to be done. The other thing is I went to the hardware store and the auto parts store here in town. It's a small town. And I found a Zerk head that I could put on the end of the spindle. But the thing that sucks is I've got a grease gun right there and it doesn't work very good. So didn't really help out that much. But I basically, you know, cleaned these whole thing, took it all apart. And there's O-rings in there. They were all grimy, had dirt all around them. So I got them all looking fresh, and when you push the thing in and out, it went really nicely. But hit it on, and it is still, you know, it's flat. Like I can't push it at all, which means it's all the way at the bottom. Gonna try. I think might just roll out to the lake, and I don't know, I probably won't launch unless I see that rise out. Plus, I don't think the boat ramps in, but I want to go out there anyways. So I might go out there and just have that be my test. And then I guess, I don't think it's the cap that's the problem. I don't think I need new caps. I think I'm just having trouble getting grease in there. So I think worst case scenario, what I might do is I might bring down a different grease gun next weekend. Pop that thing back off there again, and then use that Zerk head I've got, grease it as much as I can, and then put it back on again. I looked at the back of the wheel, no leak, so I know it's not that. I did also tighten the nut. So yeah, just a big pain in the butt. I feel like I've been sweating for like 36 hours or something like that. Anyways, that's it for now. I think I'll head out to the lake here in a little bit and see how it goes. I just took a drive to the lake. We're here. We're gonna walk down there in a second, but I just want to show you. Apparently, I shouldn't have been worried about 90s. This is more normal operating temp, and we still got that one high. This one looks good now, though. That's the one I fixed. And this one here and this one here, I didn't mess with. But yeah, interesting. I'm gonna go show you the lake. I'm gonna go hope that that one popped out too. It actually popped out a little bit. I could push it in a little. I mean, it's not much, but it did. Well, that's good news. Wonder if the other one popped out more. Oh shoot, this one went back in. Damn it. Well, that sucks. I have to keep on working on those things. I'm gonna have to get a different grease gun and then come down and grease them more next weekend. And try to, I don't know, seems like I'm not getting a good seal or something. I know I cleaned those things out, they're good. Maybe it's just the seal that's not working out. That maybe I'm not putting that Permatex on good. But here's the lake. That sandbar or mud bar is gone. I don't know if you remember that. I figured that would go away in about a foot or two. So it's up, like I said yesterday, it came up 2 feet from last Saturday, but I think it's up another half a foot or so. Because I checked it, it was either this morning, I think it was this morning, and it was up another like third of a foot. And so it's probably come up another few inches since then. Let's get down here and check out my rock. Well, I just set that black rock back on there because it was knocked off, but that's the rock, and here's the water. So, yeah, you know, I thought, I was saying, like, I think that's 3 to 4 feet up from where I was standing, and since it's like 2.5 feet up, and the water's right there, I think that makes sense. You know, I think another probably 2 feet and that thing's underwater. So yeah, I don't know why they don't have the docks in yet, because to me this is launchable. Doesn't look pretty, but it's launchable. So you need to get the damn docks in. Better be in by next weekend, because I am planning on getting out there. I would actually like to wakeboard right now, but I don't want to, you know, I'm not sure how my wife would get to the boat after launching us, because there's no dock in the water. All right, back at the shop. What sucks is the one that extended, so the one that I fully repaired, is now not extended anymore. I mean, it's moving a little bit, but and the temperature on that actually was lower than the rest on the way home. I've come to the conclusion that the smoking that I saw happen that initially tipped me off to what was going on, I think it was just grease that got on the brakes, because it seems like 100-ish degrees is normal running temperature for the wheels. Anyways, I'm gonna think about it over this next week. I will either, because I think it's one of two things. Either it's not sealing for one reason or another, or it is, it doesn't have enough grease. It's one of the two. I'm thinking about trying to add more grease and ruling that out. In order to do that, I think I need to get a different grease gun because that grease gun is not working for some reason. And if it's not sealing, then I'm not sure because the back seals are fine. The front seal is not showing anything leaking. So I don't think that's what it is, but if that is what it is, I don't know what to do about it because I can't find the leak. And I've cleaned the whole cap and everything. I don't think it's worth getting new caps. I may simply do nothing for the rest of the summer because I think at worst, as I packed them with grease, they've got grease in them, I know they do. They may not have as much as you want, but they've got plenty. I may not do anything with them all summer and just keep my eye on them. And worst case scenario, a little water gets in there because if it's not sealed, it can't be much of a leak. Might just be like a pinhole somewhere. And then I would maybe just deal with it over winter. But yeah, I'm gonna think of it over this week, and maybe I'll get a grease gun and try it again. But it was a pain in the butt all weekend and kind of blew a weekend doing that stuff. So not sure if I want to deal with it anymore this summer. So yeah, that's it for this video. I am planning on getting in the water next week. Actually, the water was high enough where I probably could have wakeboarded today. I just didn't want to deal with the whole no docks in, but my wife and I talked about it just a minute ago and are on the way home and or on the way back to the shop, and we have a little floaty that has its own little propeller on it that kids use, that she could just hop in that and then come out to the boat on it. So we might do that, or we could launch at Barry's Landing. I really don't want to do that, so chances are we'll try that little floaty thing. It sounds like we heard that they're not putting the docks in until June 20th, which is crazy. I think I'm going to call the Park Service this week and give them my 2 cents about that, because I don't think they have any good reason to not put it in now. So, and I really think they should be cleaning up that ramp while they have the time. If the water's down, get that ramp cleaned up, you know. Anyways, and I think in the next video there should be some water stuff happening, but I also think that it might be the video where I talk more about the land that we bought this year. So we'll see. I think that might be what it is. We'll also see. I'm going to work on getting my new toy down here. Fortunately, this weekend would have been a good weekend to do that, to use that toy, but more on that soon. It will be in an upcoming video, I promise. So yeah, stay tuned. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you have any thoughts on this video or ideas for future videos, please leave them in the comments down below. And if you are new to the channel, please subscribe and click on that notifications bell so you can be notified of my future videos. I'll see you next week.